Welcome, everyone. My name is Danny Ross, and I'm going to be your host today for the AI Lunch and Learn. Please share in the chat if this is your very first session joining the group. And the reason I ask that question, it's always helpful for me to know who's brand new. It also lets me see if the chat is working, lets me know if my microphone is working. It does a lot of heavy lifting for a simple question, if you will. If this is your very first session, put a one in the chat. Other than that, we will go ahead and get started. The goal of the AI Lunch and Learn is to really bring in whatever the latest news and things are. I have my AI run a search every week to see what's the latest news in AI and kind of bring us back that kind of thing. I also do training every week on a different topic, and we have a kind of a framework that we stay within called the Drive AI framework. Let's bring that over. You can see the website. You can kind of find out a little bit more about it, what it's about, and why we're doing this. Last couple of weeks, we went through the letters of Drive, DRIVE, of course. The concept is, you have AI who is your bestest buddy when it comes to growing revenue, and how you utilize it following the framework is simple. You have a deployment startup of your vision, trying to get your vision kind of locked down. And then from there, you start deciding on how you're going to reach, who you're going to reach, how you're going to reach them, and making sure that you're creating the content that matches your audience. You start running some implementation, and that could be a manual process. It could be a fully automated process, AI-driven automated process. Highly recommend you do that. And then from there, you have, of course, the validation stage where you take a look at what you've done. Is it working? What's not working? Make changes, and then expand, where you basically say, okay, now that I've got this working, I'm going to scale it up. That's it in a nutshell. If this is your very first session with us, I suggest you jump on our 7 p.m. class later tonight. And the reason why we're launching the upgrade to the Create method. And this is the technology and the prompting or super prompting framework that we've utilized since 2022, 23. And we're updating it. We've added modernization to that prompting methodology. I talked a little bit on it last week, Tuesday. But if you weren't able to attend that, if you jump on that session, that'll be 7 p.m. tonight. The 7 p.m. session is also our beginner session, where we kind of start at the beginning and walk you through a lot of the concepts. It's a good place to jump in. If you've never been to any of our sessions, that's 7 p.m. tonight. As far as the old timers, they know you can start at our buildbiz.ai website. And what's great about this platform, this is an AI-driven platform with about 60 plus apps you can sign up for. You immediately get access during the 7-day free trial of our 11 ebooks, and you can sign up there for free. And if you do like it, it's $19.95 a month. Super simple, but the beauty of that is you also, and I'm going to give you all these links because I like to give stuff away. Within the platform, you start here, you do the AI Lunch and Learn. That's what we're doing today. Here is the link for anybody who needs it. You're back every Tuesday. On Thursday, we do a little bit different session. This is more along the lines of starting a business. We're doing some interviews right now with a young lady who's starting her studio. It's an audiovisual studio. And we're actually building out her business plan, and you can watch us in that process. It's a little different twist on the Thursdays. And then Saturday, we have our fourth week of the Genesis cohort, where we're training everyone on governance, nonprofit, regulated industry, using AI in those spaces, and what you got to look out for. A more advanced class, yes. And so we got easy, simple, little bit complicated, and then we have, advanced things that we teach on Saturday. All right, so those are all the things. If anybody has any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat, but we'll go ahead and get going here. I've been thinking about this for a little while, and if you have, by the way, for those old timers and new people, If you want to participate in what we call the magic show, where we use AI to do different and demonstrate different things, and you want us to use your business or your website as part of the demo, please go ahead and share your domain name or URL in the chat, and I try to work it in so that we use real world examples. So that's another part of our training we try to do. Today's objective, I'm going to start by using my website, but please, if you put your website in, I'm happy to switch to using your website. And so what we want to do is make sure, using the Drive framework, that everything that people see when they hit your landing page really does match your vision. It has an effective message immediately, and it essentially walks you through step by step of why you should care, what's the benefit to you. Because again, people don't buy features. It doesn't matter if you're selling a product or a service, people don't buy features. What people pay for is the benefit that they get, the value proposition that they get. When you're building your website and you're using AI to do that, you really want to make sure the AI, number one, understands everything about you, your business, your vision, your services, and then that translates into highly effective messaging. Oh, pardon me for just 1 second. There we go. I also want to use AI, not really, but I want to use it to turn my air conditioning up. One of these fun things is there's an app for everything. I love technology, as you might have guessed. There we go. Cool me down. I'm under the lights here. All right, AEO positioning, homepage clarity, funnel flow, and of course, conversion is the goal. How many people sign up for whatever it is? In this scenario, I'm building out a new app. I started on this last week. Haven't had time to really complete and work on it, but the preview is up. And so, let me wake this up. When you're using the App Server app, and you're working through building apps for yourself, your customers, make sure that when you're not using the app, you just go down here and put it to sleep. Otherwise, you get billed for compute time, even though the app is not actually doing anything. Again, for those that follow, you know that I build AI apps for both myself and for customers. This is one that I'm building sort of for myself, but for my customers as well. It kind of serves multiple purposes here. And what we're working on is the impact of the page. We want to make sure that it delivers immediately out the gate, what the message is, who is it for, and what's the benefit that you're going to get. You want to, in your hero section, meaning at the very top of your website, you have to get all of that out immediately. And if it's doing it well, great. If it's not, you want to make sure that you're covering your bases on that immediately. And then from there, what are some key benefits that they're going to get by scrolling? Why am I going to leave the page, or am I going to stay on the page? Build your army of AI agents that never clock out. Okay, I can see that. Let's see what this is actually about. And so the idea is, the next thing is, again, you're continuing to tell them what's in it for them. Marketing shouldn't be this hard. Meet your AI marketing agency. You'll get marketing agents, campaign builder, compliance mode. Because if you're in a regulated industry, it's really important that you stay on track. So in other words, this product, service, SaaS-based app is designed for any organization, business, ministry, whatever you are, to use AI in the most effective way. I'm building this out because it's been requested. I have lots of apps in the platform that do things, but now I'm building it even further. What's the purpose of this exercise today is to see, okay, this is what we built, first take. Now, is it effective? Now I go back and I ask the AI to validate where the things that I have on here, is it going to get the job done? People are going to be excited about this. Create once, publish everywhere. Social automation, where it'll post to all. These are all pretty good benefits. I like it. It's going in the right direction. Now I got two tasks I need to do. This is the app page, landing, sales funnel page, whatever you'd like to call it. I have my main page, which focuses on, it's kind of a brochure page. This is one of the things I'm doing, and my exercise is I'm using my own solutions to make this page more effective. Right now, it's sort of purdy at the top, and you guys have been hearing me talking about this, and my VA and I were slowly adding in more functionality and sales funnel thing. I like the concept of where we were going with this, but I don't like the final messaging that's on here. So I asked AI, hey, take a look at it. Tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm not doing right. And so we're going to rebuild this page, even though I just updated it, to incorporate the new Drive AI app that I'm building. I say all of that to say you want to go through it, make sure it is positioned properly for AEO, which is AI engine optimization. AI engine optimization is the term I like to use. Other people use answer engine optimization. Other people use GEO, generative engine optimization. All it means is that when someone searches for a daycare center in Lawrenceville, for adult daycare center in Lawrenceville, that your website pops up. Okay, that's all it means. It's like a different, more modern version of what we used to do with Google and SEO, which is search engine optimization. Now we've gone to the next step, which is we want to get found by AI engines on top of Google, of course, but we want to add that to our effectiveness in our website. What does that mean? It has to be structured clearly. When AI is going through your website page, they're looking for certain authority in whatever the subject is. They're looking for, they don't look at pretty pictures. The AI truly doesn't care what your website looks like at all. Only human beings do. And that's kind of the difference. It'll look at this website and all it's looking at is the text, the metadata. There's two files that it likes to look at, robot.txt and llm.txt. Those are the files that it actually looks like. If you have a website, you need to have those things updated on your website. If you do not, contact us and we're happy to help you do that. Here's all my links. I posted it earlier, but a lot of people jumped on since I did. There you go. You can reach out to us and schedule something, and we'll sit down and talk and take a look at your website and kind of walk through it. Now, we know that the explicit positioning, what are you the expert on? What is the benefit of doing business with you? Is everything on your website easily searchable, findable, audience clarity? The AI wants to know who is this for, okay? These are all the things that we're talking about is when you create your website, you want to make sure that you're covering all of those things. Let's do this exercise. We can do it in parallel. I like to multitask, which sometimes is not highly efficient, but hey, this is Digital REM. Thank you for sharing. By the way, I forgot to say hello to Vaughn. Vaughn, this is your first time here. Welcome, welcome. And then Digital REM wanted us to use his website link. Happy to do that. I'm sorry, Vaughn. When you say what is that called? What's term? I threw out a lot of terms. So could you help me out? I'll be happy to answer the question. I'm just not sure exactly what you were referring to. So digital marketing made simple, agency services, creator academy, brand hub, and shop. They're actually a digital marketing organization, how we serve, what people are saying, join our clients, shop with us, that kind of thing. He's laying out his messaging very effectively, very quickly. I like what he's doing here. Of course, he's in the business, so he should be able to do this, right? Or he wouldn't get any new customers. But you could take a look at any website, and here's what's funny about this. We're all in the business together. And if we take this website and I start a new chat and I drop in one of my favorite prompts, and you take that prompt and you run it against whatever website it is that you're looking at. Whoops, let's try that again. It didn't grab the website, it just grabbed my old content. So we'll be more literal for the copy paste functionality. There we go, Command V, perfect. Now that we have this, I would like to learn how to work with you. Absolutely. Hey, Darius. Okay, Darius, I'll try to make a note to reach out to you. And I appreciate you jumping on for the brief stint, but let me make note of your information and I'll put it to the team, to my VA, to reach out and we'll get back to you. Oh, let me get this copied here. Sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to interrupt. All right. Anyway, you see the website, you see the information, and you can see that if I run this prompt, and I give this prompt to everyone because it's my favorite prompt, for just a quick scan of your website to let it tell you what's working, what's not working, and not so much what's not working, but what you can add to what you've already got. That's a better way to phrase it. Everything that you're doing is working. If you have a website, you are working. It's just a matter of what does the AI think? Now, here's what I want to be very careful of with this prompt. This prompt only looks at one page. If you have the information on another page, it may not notice it. Just be aware of that. Depends on how robust your those files that I mentioned that you have are, meaning that the AI should be able to read those files and get all the information of all of your pages and all of your links in that one, those text files that I mentioned. If it doesn't get it, then it may be buried on another page and it just may never see it. One of the things you can do with this prompt is run it against different pages and URLs so that it sees the whole picture. It'll give you an executive summary of what the organization is about. It'll tell you what it thinks your messaging and value propositions are. And then from there, it starts to dive into the actual content and giving you some pretty good feedback. And then from there, it'll tell you next steps. It'll tell you what you can do, action priorities. I suggest you do this. It's laying out what it thinks you should do next, and you can make that part of your plan. Okay. But don't go anywhere. We're going to keep building on this. Okay. First impressions test. All right. Who is this for? Industry, role, company size. These things are not yet explicit. It's telling me from manual to AI powered marketing, build your army of AI agents. It's telling me what it's asking me these questions. What problem does it solve? Why is it better than agencies? The competitive angle needs reinforcement. This is the feedback it got looking at that first pass at my page. I'm doing this real time with you guys. And this is what I meant by you really, really do want to do this process, at least quarterly. If you're not going to do it, hire somebody to do it. Make your VA do it. Make your son do it. Okay? Make somebody do this process so that you're constantly updating what's on your website. That's the biggest sin that most websites have is that they put it up. It's kind of like I tell people all the time, your website is like a building. You put it up, your domain name is the street address so people can find you. So they find your building and then you have it there. Beautiful thing about the internet, I've loved this for years and years and years, is that you can build a building that's competitive with anybody else's building. It doesn't matter your budget, you can look like any size organization as long as your website is professionally done and looks great and has information and updated FAQ sections and tells your story effectively. You can look as big as any competitor that you're going up against. This is why it's kind of like an equalizer. And now AI with generative AI means you can hire a team of 100 people to help you build your website and pay $20 a month for that team. Okay. What I'm saying is use AI for the competitive advantage it is in your business. So if you don't know how to do it, hire somebody, give us a call, but please use AI to make your business more effective and grow faster. Okay. Doesn't matter what type of organization you have. And this messaging is all, again, from the concept of what is AI? How can it take a look at what you're doing and having AI analyze your business organization website so that it can give you feedback that you can do? It's telling me we're going to want to refine our homepage positioning. We'll run this prompt and we're going to tell it. Now, this is comes into the training. We did some training last week, Tuesday, noontime, on the Create X methodology. That's the same training I'm going to do tonight at 7 p.m. If you missed the training last week or you're a beginner and you want to get a place to start, come to our 7 p.m. training. It's also free. There's no charge for it. So this is a prompt that I'm going to run. And in the Create X method, you set up the role. This is very common across all prompting methodology. You want it to act as, and this is the person you're inviting to the conversation. Here's what I want to accomplish. And you want, set some constraints because this is new to the X method. That's the X part of it. We want to limit it to tell it what you want and then set some additional guardrails if you need to. And then if it's an agentic prompt, meaning you're going to have it go build something for you, there's a chatbot prompt where you're saying to ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, doesn't matter, I want this information or give me this image. It gives you stuff back and forth. You go back and forth with it in a conversation. That's why it's important that your site has to be conversation friendly because AI only thinks in conversations for the generative part. Now, when you get to this next stage with the X, we're looking at agentic tools like, hey, build me this website, go do this for me, buy this from Amazon for me. These are all things that AI agents can accomplish for you. I want you to send out these emails, but here's the goal of the campaign. I want you to send a unique email for each person, and I want you to answer them when they come back to you, reply. And if they're interested, here's my calendar link. Make sure you look through it for my available dates, give them 3 dates, and do that. That's an agentic function where it goes the next level above a regular chatbot. It actually accomplishes something. That's what leadbiz.ai is. It's an agentic tool. That's what appserver.ai is. It builds websites and applications for you from a goal or a prompt. Okay? The link for this evening. Absolutely. Sure, 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 sure. Here you go. Let me get this for you. Here you go, Vaughn. All righty. We have the prompt that does the analysis of your website, and then we are going to now do a new prompt. Let me re-get this prompt here. And we're going to do this. Refine homepage positioning. I could tell it to take a look at REM. Now, by the way, I'm going to share this thread with when we get done. I'm going to drop this prompt in here and say, hey, do me a favor, take a look at this website, act as a conversion-focused SaaS homepage strategist, improve the headline and subheadline. Guardrails, stop and ask if target audience is unclear. This is really important. When you do a good prompt, you always define who this is for. There's a lot of steps to going from that initial prompt to getting to the overall business plan, product plan, marketing campaign, all that stuff. There's a lot of steps in between. We're kind of speeding through it. Okay, keep that in mind. There's 5 letters in Drive for a reason. So you want to slow down and do each one of them one at a time. But I'm powering through to teach a different concept today. Okay. This is the, hey, go do this for me. And why is it on the stop signal? It shouldn't be on the stop signal. It should be on the go signal. Why are you freaking out? Let's go here and see what's going on. I just dropped this in here. It's just text. Why can't you? You got to worry about AI sometimes. Let's see if chat just needs a nap. Let me refresh the screen. There we go. We've got a blue button now. I posted in the prompt and I'm telling it to go. It's running. And it's just going to take a look at the website that we fed it up here earlier, digital REM, and then it's going to take the messaging it gave us. We're not going to analyze it today because this is a different class. We're going to use this prompt to kind of just say, hey, take a look at the website and tell me what I might want to do to change things here. Build your AI marketing and oh, wait a minute. Did the prompt come with preconceived notions? Okay, cool. Build your so restricted restated goal, increase free sign. See, this is what I thought. Okay, it is doing what I didn't want it to do. I apologize. It's actually bringing in the drive conversation. That is not what I wanted it to do. Let's see. That's why I had to refresh the page, but I can see what it's doing. It's combining the prompt that I did earlier for Drive.ai and the prompt that I just gave it. That's why I was wondering. I was like, this doesn't look like digital REM content. This looks like my website content. Let's do this. Let us create a new chat. Duplicate this page. Go back to our friend digital REM. We're going to jump ahead a little bit. I don't want to have you guys sit here while I rerun both prompts. Oh, and that's one of the good parts about AI is that it does keep track of everything that you do, right? I do want it to do that when it's working on my stuff, but you don't want to have that bleed over when you're doing something new. Like when I do a customer, what I specifically do is I create what's called a project for them. What that does is it allows me some info and I'll pop that in there. And there you go. Now I'm telling it, hopefully it will not bleed over anything from our buddy. Let's see. And by the way, when you go into the AI, you can go down here under your settings for your own organization, and you can tell it your privacy settings and do you want it to remember stuff and you don't want it to remember. As I was saying, it's great that it remembers what I want it to do, but I do not want it to do that in this case. And that's why I said I usually create a project if I'm working on something for a customer so it doesn't bleed into what I am doing. That's really good. Basically, what we're trying to do is have it take a look at the website. Here's the result of the prompt. Hopefully, it doesn't have any bleed over. And I think it recognizes what I wanted to do. Okay, good. It's giving me the same thing again. And now it's telling me I can create a custom SEO roadmap. And so it still knows me too well. And now I wanted to act as a conversation focused SaaS agent. Aha, see, this is where I truly screwed up. This is user error. And I remember I said user error is sometimes the bane of my existence. Well, as the user in this scenario, I accidentally left in the detail that I didn't need it to do, and I will fix that right now. It wasn't the AI's fault, it was definitely user error, and I think I've got it figured out right now. Okay, we're going to drop this in. We're going to take this part out here. That was the error. There we go. To increase free. Oh, we don't even need to increase revenue, but we can give it a specific thing. All right, no fluff. There we go. Perfect. I think we have found the error in our ways. All right, so now it's taking a look. It's giving it a restated goal, primary buyer. It is looking at the conversion focused headline messaging. And it is kind of scale your brand without guessing your marketing. We design strategic media and digital systems that bring in qualified leads, strengthen authority, and increase revenue. If your primary revenue driver is high ticket consultation or retainers, option one is giving you the breakdown between option one and option two and option three. It's giving you these headline, okay, that you can take a look at replacing. You can say, what's great about AI is it'll give you all these ideas. You can iterate with it, go back and forth. I could say now, those are pretty good. I could say something like, those are pretty good, but now give me five more in the box and five more out of the box ideas for headlines and subs. By the way, subs are just subheadlines. That means that's the information that follows immediately about your big, bold statement. So these are in the box, proven conversion structure. Turn client attention into clients. These are so boring. Your growth engine starts here, generic. And then you have some out of the box. You don't need more content. This is kind of like a negative opening. You need a system that turns your expertise into inbound leads. Okay, so boring. If your marketing isn't paying you, it's costing you. What do you mean? We install revenue driven media systems. This is what I meant as an exercise. You should take your headline apart, take your subheadline apart, because the simple fact of the matter is when people land on your website page, this is all they see first. You have to make sure that whatever is here is highly effective to get them to scroll or click the button to convert into, again, in this sales funnel, a free trial or watch the video. Some action. You want them to immediately do some action before they even start scrolling. That's why this message at the top has to be highly, highly effective. When you're using AI to help you take this apart, this is what we're talking about. You want to have AI help you do this in a clear way. If I go back to our secondary track, and so let's wipe this out altogether. All right, cool. We'll leave that one out because that was the error track, and we'll just stick to doing the positive track that we were on. All right, so we have that, and let me do one more thing here, folks. Don't want to confuse the lesson. I'm sorry if it is a little jumpy today. I am trying to do multiple concepts at once, which is not necessarily always a good thing. But I do want to show you guys how effective AI can be in helping you walk through this path. We have our friend Digital REM. We've given it our initial, hey, help me. And then it gave us some pretty decent prompts. I think its first pass was actually better than the secondary path. We'll take a look at some of these. I like this one in some ways. Build marketing systems that generate clients on demand. Scale your brand without guessing your marketing. That is very vague, but at the same time, not horrifyingly bad. I don't like guessing your marketing. That doesn't mean anything to anybody. It's subjective at some point. Again, know your target audience and keep working towards what it is you're trying to get them. Basically, this prompt is a okay prompt, but not a great prompt. That's my ultimate point. All right, what we want AI to improve. Remember, this is my website, Build Your Army. I thought that was pretty good, but it's telling me, hey, it could be better. Yeah, you can't got to leave your ego out of this. For real estate agents, attorneys, financial advisors, and healthcare professionals, immediate. What it's saying is instead of build your army for AI agents, powerful but ambiguous, you can still say build your army for AI agents, but you can immediately follow up with the tagline or subtagline that for this is for real estate agents, attorneys, financial advisors, and health professionals. So you could be niche down and be specific. And what that does is it increases your conversion because you can immediately identify this message is for me. That's what they're trying to say here. This one is vague in its opinion. It thinks it's powerful, it's good, but this part here is what I would update. Drive AI builds, manages, and publishes marketing campaigns for instead of your marketing campaign. Who's your? That's the point the AI is trying to make to me is your is generic and it doesn't really target. I could be very precise here and nail that down to who is this for? Who's going to get the benefit fastest? And that's what it's the messaging is. Okay. This is real-time analysis of this page. All right, let's go back to our next page and our next step. Please, if you have questions, please go ahead and drop into the chat any questions that you have, okay? And following along. All right, magic demo number 2. We want to strengthen the problem section. When you're doing marketing on your website and your brand, you want to clearly make sure people understand what is the problem you are helping them solve. This has to be upfront and right there in the front. Let's go ahead and run this prompt. And I'm going to run it against the digital REM. Chris, now much better. So Chris, we're going to run this against yours, and then we're also running it again. We'll keep going with the analysis that the AI did of mine. Okay, I'm going to run this prompt here and say go. Let's make sure it doesn't have anything in there about Digital Express. The AI doesn't care about grammar. All right, cool. That looks pretty good. Run. And so now it's going to run the next thing. And I'm going to share this thread. Don't worry, guys. You don't have to take the notes. I'm going to share this thread so you have it. And by the way, before I forget, I like to give you guys free stuff all the time. I got another one here. This is, oh, let's see, training documents, Digital Express. Let's put this up here. I did this earlier today for someone else. Here we go. This is like a home page AEO audit worksheet. It's not a complete comprehensive one by any means, but it certainly will give you a few things you guys should think about when you're looking at your website, and have the AI take that information as you fill it in and check it off, and then feed it back into the AI and say, okay, now help me update my content on my website page, because it understands you even more if you have all these elements in the data that you give it. The better the data, the better it's going to be. All right. So it's just conforming assumptions. Your target industries include real estate, legal professionals, financial, and health. Shouldn't be. This should be just you. Okay, cool. I want to make sure. Anyway, it's just saying, hey, is this okay? I like the prompts that if it doesn't know, it asks. And that's why we add that X factor into the prompts. You tell it, hey, if you don't know, please let us know. It's just saying, if you'd like, I can now rewrite the solution section to position your offer as compliant. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do that just for this exercise, okay? I'm just going to give it a simple task to do. Rewrite it. The solution: we build structured marketing systems designed specifically for regulated professionals, compliance. You see the difference in the messaging. It's telling immediately the visitor that we are for you, okay? It is structured visibility. I like that term. And so it's telling you, here's what we're trying to accomplish, and this is how we get it done. That's the idea of that slide. Okay. Let's keep rocking and rolling here. I want to be done on time. Why this matters. Urgency drives signups. This is very simple. You have to be very clear on the perceived value that you are presenting. If you fix something, make sure it's extremely clear that you are targeted. In my case here, under Danny and Digital Express, an additional benefit is I work a lot in regulated spaces and I help those people in those spaces make sure they stay out of trouble. And you're using AI, this is really important that you are staying out of trouble. And actually, it applies to every organization, but specifically, it really matters there. The current call to action, that's what CTA is, structure jumps straight to action before building sufficient trust. People will buy benefits and they'll buy things that are what's in it for them, but they have to trust your authority, meaning they know that you actually know what you're talking about before they give you their money. Or the other way to handle that, if you're a brand new business and you don't have a lot of authority, the simple way in marketing to handle that is what we call risk reversal. And it's so simple. All you do is give them some sort of a satisfaction guarantee. It could be money back satisfaction. It could be we'll keep trying until we get it right. It could be almost anything. But the point of it is, now I'm a little not as concerned. If I buy this $49.99 thing, I'll get my money back if I'm not happy. Throw in no questions asked. Obviously, you'll ask a question, but you can say that and say the question you'll ask is why are you not happy? That's not a bad question. But if you want to stay to the letter of what you promised in your marketing, don't ask any questions. Just give them money back. It's kind of like my philosophy. If somebody's not happy with 19.95 a month on my platform, trust me, I give it back to them. I tell them, hey, you want a couple of months? I just do that because I don't need anybody being mad at me for $19.95. Now, if my product was $1 million, okay, yeah, I'm not going to immediately give you back your $1 million. We need to have at least a discussion. But 19.95, it's not worth your time to have a discussion about why they're not happy. Just give them their money back, okay? All right, role, SaaS funnel optimization strategist, another person that has a job that I've never heard of. Okay, so we're going to run the SaaS optimization strategist for structure. Again, hey, I caught it this time. See, human can learn. And so we're going to run it for this website, not Digital Express. All right, there we go. Constraint, keep free trial. We'll do like highlight compliance early. There we go. Improve trust, deep reasoning. When you are doing prompting with Create X, you tell the AI how much time to spend thinking about it. And that's really good because now you're kind of fine tuning how much time you want the AI to consider. The more time it considers, the better answer you're going to get, generally speaking. In ChatGPT, there's a switch you can turn on for what we call deep research. And that does the same thing. It just slows the AI down. Instead of giving a quick answer to make me happy, it'll actually say, hold on a minute, let me think about it. And then it gives you a better answer. I'm going to go ahead and run that prompt. What is it going to ask? Whenever you ask it for deep reasoning or thought, is it going to ask you some questions? Chris, what is your primary acquisition channel for business to your website? And then second one is, do you have baseline conversion data? We're not going to worry about that one on this one. So just tell me, what's your primary acquisition channel? Chris, are you still there? Nope. YouTube and Instagram. Love it. All right. So we'll tell it that one. YouTube and Instagram. All right, MKHD, MKBHD, whatever. That's one of my favorite channels there. I also like a young lady called Gillian Perkins. She does a lot of training on YouTube itself, and I like her style. Instagram. And then question two is, do you have a baseline conversion data? No. I am learning with you, AI. All right, so it's going to go ahead and take a look at the channel, and it's going to say, hey, now that I know your channel that you're using, I'm going to change the information. See, this is what we're talking about. The more you can fine tune it, the more you can niche it down, the more you can make it specific to your audience. Where are people finding you now? YouTube? Okay, hey, I'll give you things that will work in YouTube, for example. Social aware hero. This is strategy one. These are the funnel structure. And so the headline and subheadline, we're basically laying it out. And so primary call to action, book a call, watch how it works. Those are pretty good. And then build with industry advertising standards in mind. If you're in the regulatory industry like real estate, you can't promise that I'm going to sell your house in an hour. If you're a lawyer, you can't say I'm going to get you $1 million settlement, things like that. You have to be compliant in the industry that you're in. And then this is second strategy. If you found us on YouTube, you'd add this section because you know your audience. I know my audience comes in from YouTube or Instagram. You build out a section that is strictly targeting that audience. Revenue leak section, keep it tight. You're visible but not. Oh, so it's just giving you more advice. The system, I'm not going to go through this in detail. Like I said, I'm just showing you what kinds of things you get immediately out of this in a couple of questions back and forth with the AI. FAQ section. I cannot stress the importance of having really good FAQ sections on all your pages. This is what the AI uses to understand you, your authority, what types of audience you're serving. This teaches the AI about you. So you really need very strong FAQ sections. I've got websites that I've built for customers. I'll bring one over. I'm working with this one. I started on this one a little while back. Tender Living Care. We have not done any marketing at all. Zero. It's on her to-do list. And we're going to work on this together. But what drew my eye to this page while I was bringing it up as an interesting example is you can see she's had 87 unique visitors in the last 30 days. Nobody should find this page. It's up. Yes, it's a nice page, but I haven't done any marketing. But what is on that page is lots of AEO, lots of FAQ, and it's a very niche need. She does adult daycare, but adult care for seniors. They come to her facility and they have a great time all day long. And when we designed the site, she has a very, of course, it's regional to where she is local, and people find her simply by searching, and she's beating out other organizations because, again, she's been there for a while. She has some authority. We have really good AEO. We've got FAQs. We've got lots of content and information on the page. They can watch the videos, and she's getting people just asking questions about it. Okay. That's what I meant by a AEO driven website will get results. The AI will say, okay, hey, here's somebody that answers your question. And that's what you absolutely want every single time. Okay. We'll keep rocking and rolling here. Expected funnel improvements. This is my website now. It's telling me if I focus down on industries, focus in on compliance, and make things very, very clear, add more testimonials, and I can easily do that. It will improve everything, improve AEO for AI discovery. You are an AI search optimization strategist. All right, so we're going to drop this into Chris's website. Let's do this. And when I'm done, Chris, I'm going to give you this whole thread. Roll AI engine. I want to make sure AI model clearly understands and describes my value or value prop. Constraints include explicit ROI jargon, clear industry references, restate goal, and list 5 phrases. This is bad for this prompt. Okay. Reasoning is medium, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I cleaned up the prompt. This is not a great prompt, but it will get the job done. It's telling you, hey, so we want to optimize the copy. So AI models clearly understand, categorize, and accurately describe your value prop. 5 phrases AI engine could assert with your brand: compliant digital marketing, marketing systems, revenue-focused content, compliance aware, trackable, measurable clients. These are all things you can add to your website if you're targeting regulated industries tomorrow, and it'll help you. Headline. What's good about any of this I was mentioning, you can have sections as you go down the page, would be a headline, but you don't want it to be your main headline. Put it in three sections down as a secondary headline. You could put headlines and subheadlines throughout your whole page, especially if you're doing a sales funnel. That's exactly what you should be doing. Even if they didn't get that first headline and click, they get the second headline and click, third headline and click. You give them lots of choices. Now, how long should your funnel be? Trust me, there's arguments all day long in marketing about that. Some people say short and to the point. Some people say let it run for 3 hours. So you can fight that fight. It's subjective in a lot of ways. You pick the one that works for your organization. All right. So what we do is laying it all out and our structured approach. Again, these are great sections to have on your page. It's useless from an AI engine optimization point of view. That's why I said my page, the top of it is party, but from an effectiveness point of view, it's lacking greatly. This is why the guy who does this for a living has his VA going back through, we're rebuilding it. But you see my FAQ section. My FAQ section is long. This is what you want. You want every question the AI can think of answered before it gets to the bottom of the page. That's the key thing. And so just make your FAQ, as long as it compresses, it's not a big deal. People are not going to scroll all the way down. And by the way, this is stuff left over. This used to be the top of my page. You can see I'm pushing all this bad stuff down. It's still, this part of the page is like I said, it's a brochure. You're just looking through it and all the things that Danny is doing. I'll click on that. It's not a very good page, but it was effective for the things that I needed to do when I first built the page back in 2023. So anyway, you can take all this stuff. This has not been updated in a year. So we're going to do the blog next week, by the way. We're going to do blogging next week. You guys are going to be with me as I continue to improve my page. I'm going to hand all this stuff to my VA and tell her to go through it and update the homepage. And this is the new app that I'm building. It is really a very cool app. What is my login for this? This one should be the right one. And password. And so when you log in, you have a dashboard of the things that you're running. You can have different campaigns, the posts that you're running this month, what's your engagement rate. You can develop a marketing plan, right, from scratch. The AI is going to help you build out a marketing plan. You can talk to your AI agents. How we did that business brief exercise. The strategy agent will walk you through that business brief. It's like hiring a chief marketing officer. The AI is going to handle that for you. You can build out your campaigns, your content. You'll have an analytics agent, lead agent, and a compliance agent if you're in a regulated space. You can build out all your campaigns, your leads, your content library, email templates, team newsletter. I built this whole thing because I am the chair of the technical committee for Empire Board of Realtors. We are trying to get a newsletter out. I built this simply to solve that problem. And what it'll do is you have a newsletter you want to get out, and you have 5 people that are gathering the content from all the other committees, putting it all together, submitting it up to the review and approval team. The approval team gets it, and then they say it's good, and then you can have it blasted out on the social hub to all of your social media channels. You can put it up on your website. And then, of course, you want to measure the analytics. That's the V in validate. You want to always know what's going on. And then it has settings, of course, where you can go set up stuff. But it's going to be out soon. I'm almost done with it. But it is a pretty cool app, if I may say so myself. All righty, where were we? We were almost done. Sorry about this. I'm proud of what I'm working on. All right, phrases we want AI to learn. These aren't just keywords, they're explicit beats that are clever. And the marketing, it just means the rhythm of what you're putting out there. AI marketing, automation for regulated industries. These are just headlines and subheadlines that you want throughout the content that you're creating. You can write a blog post on each one, that kind of thing. These are things we want the AI to learn and things we want the AI to get out there. Now we wanted to come up with pricing, conversation, role. You're a SaaS pricing optimization strategist. I want you to help me come up with a pro plan description that'll help convert more. And so I want to apply this to Chris's page because he doesn't have this section, but it's just telling me what I want is starter Like, so when I was designing the pricing for the page, this is a thing that you want to modify, see what's working. Is it converting? If it's not converting, why is it not converting? And then play around with pricing. There's no right or wrong answer other than are you converting people? $8 a month is super cheap. And if they don't pay $8 after the free trial, then they're just not interested. $29 a month is kind of like that threshold, either 20 bucks, 19.95, or 29. They're seeing the value, they're getting the credits, and they're happy. Scaling, you see the point. You want to go through your pricing, and then you need ways to people to just buy more if they run out. And so that's basically the what the AI and I were discussing going backward and forward. I think hopefully you get that concept. You start something free, cheap. There's people who say free is a bad trial, but yes, exactly, Chris. You're getting what the AI is selling, which is my site. When I first built it, it was nothing but pretty. But we need to have data on there for the AI. If not for the humans, definitely for the AI. You need to have a lot more data. All right, so why pricing psychology matters. One more layer, homepage trust signals. Testimonials above the fold is highly effective. Compliance badges built for regulated industry section. Who this is not for. This is pretty good. This does a good job of explaining to your audience that if they are not falling under the not for you category, they're in the right place. It's kind of funny. It does two things at once. For people who are this is not for, it gets rid of them. They don't waste your time or their time. But for the people that it is for, they say, oh, yeah, I'm in the right place. And they relax a little bit more. Okay. Because you're telling them, hey, this is not for this group. Therefore, if you're still here, this is for you. It's again, all of these marketing things all work together on your website page. Quick conversation, conversion audit checklist. Is the audience defined? Is the primary pain named? Transformation, is it clear? Compliance, are you reducing the fear? Proof is visible. Testimonials. Now, number one, whenever you build one of our sites in App Server, it will hallucinate and make up testimonials for you. Delete them. It's better to have no testimonials than to have fake testimonials. Okay? Just delete them. Don't even worry about it. You don't have any testimonials, just delete them. Don't use the fake ones. Okay? And trial frictionless. I use trials, but again, you can debate whether to use a trial or not. If your service doesn't match up with the ability to create a trial, don't use a trial. Okay. Sharpened positioning. This is what we worked on today. Stronger AEO signals, compliance, advantage, pricing, and funnel flow improved. Hopefully, you guys kind of got that from that quick kind of roller coaster ride. So, your assignment, don't wait for the next session. Run today's prompts on your homepage. Does AI clearly understand what you do? Ask ChatGPT, screenshot the results. This is homework. Run that prompt that I just gave you. Either one is fine. Any LLM, doesn't matter which one, large language model. Have it run against your website. Does it actually understand and get from your website your company? Does it understand? And then run through the different things. Let me give you a couple of things to work with. I'm going to give you this deck. Give me 1 second here. Export PDF. And while it's doing that, let me give you this chat thread so I don't forget. And this chat thread applies to everybody, by the way. So you can kind of see the stuff that we did in action and run it against make sure you put your domain name and URL in there and make sure that it is for you. Let me grab this doc, the PDF. I'll drop that in there. You guys hopefully got enough value out of your hour that you felt that you learned a little something today. Any feedback, any questions? I'm going to wrap up the call. We don't want to stay on past too long. I can sometimes go 20 minutes over the hour, but I try to respect your time. Any questions? Any thoughts that I need to follow up on? All right. I will see you guys later on tonight. If you're going to come to the 7 p.m. session, jump on my calendar if you have questions. And hopefully everybody learned a little bit of something. It was a pretty quick whirlwind of new data, and I'm trying to make sure I do something new every week. How do I get this thread? Which thread are you speaking of? Are you speaking of the chat? You should be able to click the three dots and save the chat. If not, let me know. But pretty much everything in the chat I've given you the links for. But if you send me an email, I'm happy to. Oh, you got it? Okay, good. Just hit the save the chat button. And if you need anything else, please just reach out to me. And other than that, folks, I want you to have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll see some of you back at 7 o'clock. All right. Bye bye, everyone.